Yo, what up, YouTube? I just wanted to drop this, video real quick. There's one thing I want to talk about that many people have been asking me. But before I get into that, shouts out to all the homies from DE, that's the Desert Empire. Spence, if I forgot about you, but y'all sabes. There's a lot of areas and shit. But yeah, like, shouts out to the DE, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, pretty much I just wanted to address this shit with me and Badger. Supposedly it's a internet beef that I don't beef about on the internet. But for the most part, he explained the story thoroughly. And now that he explained the story, now I understand exactly what he was trying to say. He didn't get into it. So at first, when I first heard the story, I was like, oh, that has to be bullshit. But now that he explained it, what he exactly was saying, now I got it. And, Spence, if there's any misconceptions thrown out there and shit, you know what I mean? That's how men do it. You get at me and shit, you know what I mean? And explain the story or whatever. At the end of the day, it's always going to be disagreements on shit, you know what I mean? But now that I got his story, now I understand what he's talking about. He's pushing his positive from his end, you know what I mean? Because people will respond to his shit because according to who he is, and there'll be people that respond to mine according to who I am. So with that being said, you know what I mean? It's just basically, like I said, no shots fired at that Walter. He doing his thing, I'm doing mine, you know what I mean? But for his fans that be coming on here, like, really talking big and shit, at the end of the day, dude, I'm with that man shit. I ain't with that internet banging. So, go ahead and save that shit, But anyways, before I get into that, I just wanted to talk basically about something people have been asking me. There's some misconception. People are asking me, oh, if there was a riot, what would you do? Like, that's self-explanatory. To me, I never see things as, personal. It's always business. If something had this, to me, I see it as gangbanging. If we're going to rock, we just going to rock. It has nothing to do with race. It just has all to do with, hey, it's on and popping. Let's get it. Let's get it going. You know what I'm saying? So, for people that don't understand that fact, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? A lot of people didn't understand me, but I mean, it never stopped my, my get down. It's always S. It's always going to be S. That's not gang related shit. That's just, that's who I run with. And that's always going to be like that until I'm resting in the casket. You know what I mean? But on a different note, basically, it's a story. People ask me, what about family and shit like that. I'm going to tell you a story, you know what I mean? And I can't get too into it because, I mean, with all the grimy little details. But there's one guy in particular. I know this dude was more than family, really, you know what I'm saying? But, he's a Boricua and shit, just straight Boricua. And his way of thinking was just always turned up, and in juvenile hall we're like best homeboys and shit, and fucking anything happened that, and if he was in juvenile hall at that time, it's like, you fight me, then you're gonna have to fight him, or vice versa. So we grew up together, you know what I mean? And we're like really close. But when we hit Wayside and shit, it was a different story. Dude start banging Crip, you know what I mean? And I've always repped that double S. And at one point in time, there's a lot of shit cracking in Wayside. And this Vato in particular, I don't know what happened to him on the street. I don't know if the homies angered him in some way, but this motherfucker just really hated the homies. So me and him still talk, but we just didn't talk as much. Well, I'm going to tell you straight out, this fool was like one of those, that will go in the little toilet area and cross us out and shit like this. And he was putting, just big disrespecting the homies. Then he started disrespecting the homies. And then fucking, I've known him, you know what I mean? So I basically got at this Vato and told him, like, hey, man, I know that's you. You need to slide back. There's tension in the pod over bullshit. He's like, I don't give a fuck, this and that. So I told him, look, man, just stay on your toes, and just, and not even warning him like there was something that was going to crack. I'm just telling him to be mindful what the fuck he does, because that shit has consequences. So for the most part, I just let him go. You got to let a motherfucker hang himself. And I was really trying to avoid him wrecking, you know what I mean? But the motherfucker didn't listen. And one of the homies happened to catch him. And it was like a big incident over that shit. And, I tried to talk to the homies to at least get him to move out the pod. The blacks in the pod wasn't feeling what he was doing either. It was already too much drama than to add more drama. And this motherfucker was just fucking turned up. Well, anyways, we'll just make it a short story. Basically, this motherfucker didn't listen. He went and rolled it up, and the homies gave him that. Gave the blacks that, hey, if he leaves, it's cool. But the fool that was like a family member, he didn't want to. But I knew he wasn't. I just knew what type of motherfucker he was, and he was just one of those that he didn't give a fuck at all. So, one thing led to another and shit, and fucking at the end of the day, the shit cracked. You know what I mean? And it's like I told him, if anything ever crack off, just stay away from me. I'm gonna stay away from you. You know what I'm saying? The wayside dorms are big. You know, I'm gonna be over here slanging them. You just slang them over there, and we're cool. You know, we get out, we're good. You know, this is only in jail shit. Well, at the end of the day, this motherfucker, I don't know, I guess secretly felt some type of way about me, so he tried to snake me. And when he tried to snake me, my homeboy had already warned me not to trust this motherfucker. He was like, this fool already disrespecting the homies, you know, don't trust them, blacks, you know. But I grew up with this fool, and he was more than like family member, more than a lot of my family, you know what I mean? Because I'm on my own shit, and they're on their own shit, but he was just like a family member to me. You know, a motherfucker would have gave him his last, but he tried to snake me, and he tried to bomb when I wasn't looking, and he missed me, and the homie caught him in the side of the face. Boom. And I'm just gonna say, one thing led to another, and fucking at the end of the day, you know, y'all gotta pay for your consequences. So he ended up going over the tier. And when he went over the tier in Wayside, I guess it's lucky that we were cleaning that morning, because he landed on his fucking face on the top bunk. You know, the bunks that got the 3 tiers on it? Well, he landed on his face, and he smacked that motherfucker so hard I thought he broke his neck. I'm not going to say who threw him over the tier, because it's not my business. I'm not going to say anything like that. I'm just going to say he tried to sneak me, and he got dealt a bad hand. And that's just how it is. So when people ask me, I'm going to say like this. When I was younger, I thought like this, you know. At the end of the day, it ain't about, you know, and that situation taught me it's not about blood thicker than water. It's about who bleeds the most. And in that case, I tried to look at him like family, and he tried to sneak me, and he bled. And to this day, that motherfucker's slow and a vegetable, and fucking sucking shit out of a straw. But that was when I was younger, so I had those thoughts. But now that I'm older, it's like, you know, I still love my family. It's just like when I was in High Desert, my brother was on fucking B Yard in High Desert, and he was like, man, I wish you could have been down here, but I didn't want to, because I know in some cases motherfuckers hate me so much that he might get used as a motherfucking push cushion or whatever, you know what I mean? Just trying to get back at me, you know? And I never want that. So when I have family on the yard, I try my damnedest to stay the fuck away from them, because at the end of the day, I don't trust nobody. And even if I do trust a lot of my family members, well, a few of them, I still don't put it past motherfuckers to do what they have to do. I mean, when it's war, you know? And if you can't avoid it, you got to get it cracking. For the most part, if shit crack off and my family's right there, I'll avoid them. There's too much shit and too many altercations going in the yard to focus on my own family. Like, that's just not how it goes. Who knows, you know? I got family members that have called me out to go head up, you know? And it wasn't that they dislike me. It's just that they wonder why I was pushing. They get out of YA, and they get out of camps, and they get out of all this shit after years, and then see me and be like, hey, you know what? Why? You know? Why you do that? You know, why'd you get into, you know, a Mexican gang? And it's like, hey, you didn't want to put me on. I got love for my homies, and that's where I'm at. And then, you know, some have tried to like turn me over and be like, hey, yeah, you know, you should, you know, I'll put you on. The homies will put you on. But, you know, that's not me. I'm always going to represent what I represent. And that's why I got the voice to tell youngsters that they need to be careful out here on these streets, because it ain't what it's cracked up to be. If you're just hard-headed and you want to bang, then do it. Bang to the fucking fullest. Just know that at the end of the day, there's consequences to your action, and we all have to, you know. And, you know, I'm not all super positive. I know there's times I'm going to get triggered, but for the most part, if I can keep a few of the homies out of the cage, you know, there's always going to be cats going in the cage. You know, it's just the way it is. That's society. And that's, you know, some people have their own turn up. But yeah, so to answer that, you know, it's about who bleeds the most in some instances. I don't trust nobody. You know what I mean? And that's how you got to live. A family member, everybody knows back in the days, you got family members killing each other over bullshit. Different gangs, different, you know, loyalties, you know, and it just depends on how deep their loyalty goes. When it comes to that double S, my loyalty is really deep. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the way it is. Doesn't mean I'm going to go kill a family member over this shit. If they ain't snitching, they ain't done nothing wrong, why am I going to go do something to my family member? They ain't going to come do nothing to me off the word of some fucking idiot. You know what I mean? If my family members have something against me, they're going to come for the head up. I already know. And I got family members that have been boxing for years that got major hands. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, if they got something against me, oh, they're going to come to me. It ain't going to be no bitch shit over the internet. It's just going to be like, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling that what you said, and we got to get that fade. And that's just how it is. And that's how homies are on the street. If there's homies feeling some type of way about me, you think they're not going to get at me? size don't mean shit. And I'm not a small cat, but size don't mean shit. At the end of the day, still to break everybody down. You know what I mean? And ain't no rules on the street. So, you know, everybody got to be mindful of what they say. And at the end of the day, I'm going to respect my camaradas to the fullest. And it's been proven many times that I will lay my life down on you know what I mean, on the line in order to make sure that my name is still good. And it's just the way it is. And that's not gang. That's just life in general. So with that being said, you know what I mean? Oh, and for the ones that, you know, I'm not sweating trolls. I like trolls because you talk shit to trolls, which I try not to. But when you respond to certain trolls, they respond back. And that's just more views. So trust me, there's always a reason why I do things. You know what I mean? There's no reason why I don't, you know. It's just, you know, it's the way it is, you know. I'm not mad. They can troll me all day. If you ain't ran up on me on the street, then you just wolfing out your ass. And if you ain't from the Arna, like you're way the fuck up there and you ain't a homie and you're wolfing, that shit don't mean nothing. Many people have tried to deter me from repping what I represent, and it has never happened. I'm already 40, so, you know, that's why I'm able to sit here on this platform and tell my young homies that, you know, shit is serious in prison. And, you know, if you can avoid it, avoid it. I know homies that have never been busted, and it's kudos to them, you know what I mean? Because they don't need to be in prison in order for them to get glesha. It's enough glesha here on the street, you know? You know, out here you can go to movies, you can go eat, you can go do a lot of shit. Once you get to a certain age, banging is out anyway, so you're able to enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? But yeah, for the trolls, you know, and then motherfuckers that, you know, you ask me about repping a Mexican flag, you must not know the Constitution. So if you don't know it, I'm not going to get into it. It's not about being Mexicano, you know. You just don't know what you're talking about. You're just upset and triggered or some bullshit. But I mean, I laugh, but thank you for the views, though. At the end of the day, you can say sell out. You can call me everything you want in the book. If you ain't running up on me, it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? You're just wolfing out your ass. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, you got about to say something about the flag. At the end of the day, yeah, I'm still American, but that flag that's on my shoulder go deeper than you think. You know what I'm saying? And it is the way it is. Ain't no switching up. I don't play half-ass. If I'm gonna go wholeheartedly into this shit and I'm gonna put my life on the line in order to represent some shit, you think I ain't gonna rep the flag too? That's a whole part of it, you know, but you don't know, so it's understandable, you know what I mean? But if you don't understand, you know, like that dude from Boston that run his mouth, just slide back, dude. You don't know what goes on out here, so you know, stay out of that Cali shit, you know what I mean? It's like, and for one, you ain't even a homie, so it's like, you know, you ain't even black or whatever, you know, which I probably could understood you if you were woofing on here and, you know, you may have some ties to something, but you don't. You're from way the fuck out there. So just stay out there, you know what I mean? And if you have no ties to none of us, then don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even, like I said, being negative. That's just addressing, you know, people that feel like they know about our shit and you don't, you know what I mean? So, yeah, with that being said... you about to have a Feed Man Sunday, enjoy your night and shit. I'm about to, you know, head out, go see what I can get into. But like I said, keep that shit all positive. If you got music you want to drop, just go ahead and hit me up at Zod Rese on IG, the same on FB. You know, I'm just getting that shit started. You know, I got my family member just started a new clothing line. They've had it out since 2015, but you know, it's something different. The homies can still sport it, you know what I mean? But as far as the apparel that I'm trying to come out with, that's still a work in progress. That's because I got to get more orders in order to actually have the person print them. So, you know, hopefully homies bear with me. And like I said, to all my homies up in Folsom right now, saludos, and to all the camaradas in Delano and, you know, all the pins right now, just, you know, just really trying to stay solid in these fucking crushing ass times, you know what I'm saying? And you still representing, ya sabes. And to the youngsters, man, stay the fuck up out of it. Ain't worth it. And hopefully, you know, you understand quick, you know what I mean? And on that note, I'm out.